Okay, this is lesson 9.5. Centimeters and meters we're going to do now. We're going to compare them together. We're not going to do this first page today. I think it's just too confusing to try to do with where we are. But just know that when you measure something that is smaller, you're going to use your centimeter. I'll take this off from that. So when you measure something smaller, you're going to use your centimeter ruler. I'll call it your centimeter ruler. So if you're measuring something small, you're going to use that. But if you're measuring something really, really big, so let's say you want to measure your table or your chair or a bookcase, you're going to use your meter stick. Now, this is my big, long meter stick, which I talked about the other day a little bit. Really, 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 really long, really long. Okay, so with the meter stick is 100 centimeters. So each of these, one thing, this little cube is 1 centimeter. So your meter stick, your big long meter stick that you have, if you have one at home, you can use it. If not, I'm going to show you how to use your ruler for it. This is 1 centimeter. Okay, every one of these is 1 centimeter. On your ruler, it's 30 centimeters. But my big long stick, my yellow stick, is actually 100 centimeters. So when you're measuring something, it's much easier to measure it if it's larger with a meter stick than a centimeter stick. So what you need to know for this lesson is that 100 centimeters, if I spell it right, equals 1 meter. So if we have 100 centimeters, it equals 1 meter. So if I have 100 of these little cubes, if I had 100 cubes, if I had 100 of those, we put them all next to each other, we line them up, it would equal 1 meter, which is a really, really long stick. I'll call it my yellow stick. So that's all we're going to do on that page. You should write that down so 1 centimeter is 1 meter, but it's also on the top of the next page. 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. So this is somebody's door, a classroom teacher's door. And it says the real door is about 200 centimeters tall. That means if we measured this out and we were in front of the door and we had it, it would be 200 of these cubes all lined up next to it. It says, but if it's 200 centimeters tall, the real door is 2 meters tall. So every 1 meter is 100 centimeters. Because it's 2 meters, it's 200 centimeters. So you'll get to do this on your own. I'm just going to do a little bit near me. And what I'm going to show you is if you don't have a meter stick at home, you can just use your ruler. If you use your ruler like 3 times plus another 10, it is the same length as a meter stick. So you measure a chair next to you. Mrs. Brunel has a chair next to me here. I'm going to measure it with my ruler, my centimeter ruler, and it is 1, 2, it is actually 100 centimeters. So my chair is 100 centimeters, and that would equal how many meters? Right, it would equal 1 meter. Nice job. So now I have a desk in front of me, and I'm measuring the desk in front of me. Now, my desk is really, really long. It is 200 centimeters. So if it's 200 centimeters, how many meters would that be? You could even write that up here. 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. 200 centimeters equals, 2 meters. That would be 2 meters. Then I have the wall in my living room, and I measured this before so I didn't have to leave the video. So I measured my wall, and guess what it was? It was 400 centimeters. So what would 400 centimeters be? Well, if we have 300 centimeters, that would equal 3 meters, which would mean 400 centimeters would equal, nice job, 4 meters. It's a pattern. 100, 200, 300, 400, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every 100 centimeters equals 1 more meter. You can do this in your house with the things that are around. You can measure it with your, just say, for ease, say if you have used 3 of these, then 3 of these would equal basically a meter stick. It's a little bit short, but it's just easier to say 3 of these equal a meter stick. Okay, the next one was the chalkboard, which you would not have at home, and I do not have at home either. So we're just going to pretend that the chalkboard is 500 centimeters. What is that going to be? 500 centimeters is going to be how much? Well, there's my other paper. If I'm going with this chart, and each time I'm going up, if I go to 400, and then if I have 500 centimeters, it would equal 5 meters. Well, that would equal 5 meters. The bookshelf I had was actually 100 centimeters, which equals 1 meter. And then the table I had was 300 centimeters. And how many meters would that equal? And you guys can do this on your own. I'm just doing this so you have an idea of what it is. That would equal 3 meters. Now it says they want you to put this in order from shortest to longest. So we have to think about this. We have to put this all like in the same thing. So if we have 200 centimeters, we have to think, what does 1 meter equal? If I go back to my other thing, 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. Actually, I'm going to put it on this side. Maybe. So this will be 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. Oops, so which one of those is bigger? So we have 200 is more than 100 centimeters. And then if we had 10 meters, if 1 meter is 100, 10 meters would be, that would have to add up 110 times. 110 times, I think, would equal 1,000 centimeters. So now that they're all in centimeter form, we can put them in order. So it would be 1 meter would go first, because that equals 100 centimeters. And then 200 centimeters would go next, so that would be like this, 200 centimeters, which would equal 2 meters. And then this would be 10 meters, which equals 1,000 centimeters. Okay? So this one says, Mr. Ryan walked next to a barn. He wants to measure the length of the barn. Would the length be a greater number of centimeters or a greater number of meters? So you have to think about that. Well, if we're using centimeters, there's 100 centimeters in a meter. So that would mean that if 1 meter equals 100, then centimeters is always going to be a greater number than meters. So it would be, we would say, the length would be a greater number of centimeters. The length would be a greater number of centimeters. And it says, explain your answer. Well, we can just say what we know in math. 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. Because this is a greater number just in general. 100 is greater than 1 when you're doing this. In this case, those are equal amounts, but 1 is less than 100. So it says, write the word on the tile that makes the sentence true. So you're either going to write centimeters in here or meters in here. Remember, when you think about it, say your centimeter ruler is this long. Okay, your meter ruler is going to be like this long. It's going to be longer, a lot longer. So if you have a larger object, a longer object, you're going to measure it with your meter stick. If you have a shorter object, you're going to measure it in centimeters. Okay? So what would we do? I'm going to do the pencil one first. I'm not sure about the bench. I'm going to keep thinking about that. I'm going to go to the pencil. I know I'm going to measure the pencil in centimeters because we did that the other day. A paper clip, I know that one's centimeters too because we did that one the other day. A bed. Ooh, a bed is pretty big. I wouldn't want to measure my bed with that little centimeter thing, so I'm going to say meters for that one. And literally for this one, it would depend on how long your bench is. But I know a bench is not going to be 2 centimeters because that's going to be like this little bitty bench. And a bench is not going to be that big. A bench is going to be longer. So I'm going to say it would be 2 meters long. And it's going to have to be like the bench that we have in the back of the classroom that you sit on for reading sometimes. And that is probably 2 meters long, probably exactly. We'll measure it when we go back to school. So that's this page. For your homework, you can do this and just measure it, whatever you have. If you have a meter stick at home, use it. If not, just use your ruler and use the centimeter part on your ruler. But know that it's really 3 plus a little bit more of your meter stick. It's really 3, of your ruler, your centimeter ruler. It's really 3 of these plus 10 more makes a meter. But just for ease, think that it's like 3 of your little rulers to measure for a meter. So just think about that. You can measure in centimeters and then turn it into whatever it is in meters. And you're doing it to the closest centimeter. So if it goes, to like 26 or whatever, you can use 25 or even 20 if it's easier for you to add for that one. This one is the same, number 3 is the same as number 8, so you just have to think about that one. And this one you just have to choose what you're going to write for it. This one you're just going to measure with your centimeter ruler. This you're going to draw 65 cents. And then this one you're not going to do because we haven't done this yet. This is just addition. And this is also money. So money, money. So number 3 you don't have to do because I haven't taught you that yet. So that's the lesson for today. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. If you have any questions about this, let me know. And I will review all this when we go back to school, because this one's rough because we don't all have meter sticks at home. Mrs. Brunel doesn't even have, I have kind of a meter stick, but not really. I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.